my Stampin' friends. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys for joining me. It's time for another Tuesday tip video. And today's tip is about creating some fabulous birthday cards for friends, because today's video is a now, wow, or holy cow. I've got 3 cards to share with you. If you've got just a few quick minutes, I'm going to teach you how to make a card now. If you want to step it up a notch, maybe you want to make it a little more of a wow card, I've got a technique for that. And if you want to go all out, we're going to step it up one more notch and create a holy cow card. I've got 2 different sets of cards to share with you. I'm so excited to get started. I hope you are too. So we're going to head over to the stamping table. Let me show you our cards for today.
Okay, so as I said, we're going to create a card now. So if you need one very, very quickly, this is the card for you. You want a wow card, you want to step it up, look at those great layers, a little more stamping on it. So that's a great wow card, but maybe you want a holy cow. Well, we took that same card and we created a pocket insert instead. So we're going to be creating all 3. Stick around to the end of the video because I have another set of cards to share with you. Now, we're going to go over the supplies that you need, but I want you to know that I have a free download that goes along with today's video. So you're going to have all those measurements. So I don't want you to mess with writing anything down because it's all there. You can just print this off or you can just save it to your computer by downloading it. If you need to come back and watch the video again, simply click the QR code or just click there. It'll take you to the video. And my friends, if you want to order anything, I would love for you to order from Simply Simple Stamping. You can click right there. Everything I used on today's cards will be available for you. All right, we've got photos as well. We're going to get started with the now card. Your cardstock is so easy. I've got Berry Burst 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have Basic White Thick. This is a 5 1/4 by 8 inches scored at 4 inches. How easy is that? All right, so we're going to be using one stamp set today. I'm going to be focusing on the Darling Details stamp set. Now this one also has a set of dies, but we're just going to focus on the stamp set today because we wanted to keep things easy. I love this. We've got lots of great sentiments, lots of great flowers, leaves, everything we need for our card. I'm going to bring in some grid paper because I'm going to be stamping off of this cardstock. So I'm going to begin here with a Berry Burst ink pad and the solid flower, okay? We're gonna start with this solid flower, and I want you to just randomly stamp this all over your card. When you're getting close to the edge, just go ahead and give that card a little fold so that we don't hit the edges there. That way we have a clean line, but guess what? It's going to be adhered down. No one's going to see it anyway, so we're good. All right, so that's our Berry Burst. Now we're going to come in with the Memento Black, and we're going to do the overlay stamp. I always like to kind of start with this one first because as you can see, it's very easy to see where to stamp the outline. And it's just going to go right on top. And of course, that Berry Burst and the black, it's just so striking. I'm now going to come in with Parakeet Party. You could use any of your favorite greens on this. If you are madly in love with Lemon Lime Twist or Granny Apple Green, I think those would be beautiful here as well. You can see I'm just going to kind of come in and add some burst of green here. And now back in with the black, we will do our outlines again. One last little bit, a little bit of crushed curry. Now I am using crushed curry. I just thought this deeper yellow was just really nice, but if you wanted to use your Daffodil Delight, I think that would look beautiful as well. So you see, I'm just kind of filling in. If there's a spot that I feel like it just needs a little bit of stamping, I can bring in that Daffodil Delight. And we're now going to come in with our Stampin' Right markers. And by the way, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Stampin' Up! Has changed their markers. And the tip is now a little bit more of a bullet, and I love that. So I'm going to give the center of my flowers just a little dot of black. It kind of ties in the black that we've been using as our outline. All right, we have that done. We're now ready to do that diagonal cutting. I'm going to do my tick mark on my paper trimmer, but guys, you can use a ruler for this as well. What I want you to do is I want you to find the 2 1/8 mark. So that's in between 2 inches and 2 1/4. And we just want to make a little mark. I'm going to do it with my scoring blade. But if you are just struggling, you can't see that, you could also just come in and just add a little tick mark with a pen. That works just as well. And we're going to cut it off, so no fears. All right, we're now going to put this into our paper trimmer. And what I want to do is I want to trim from this corner to the tick mark. And I do want to cut the tick mark off. So in this case, I want to make sure my tick mark is off of the cutting track. We want to make sure that's going to come off of there. So got it set up just like that. Slice, and voila, we have our diagonal cut. That we're not going to be using, but we are going to do a little more stamping now, because this is where we're going to put our sentiment. I'm going to come back in with that black ink pad, and I'm going to stamp happy birthday. And then I'm going to bring in that berry burst, and I'm going to say happy birthday, friend. And now let's fill in just a little bit. So we're going to bring in that crushed curry, and let's just add a couple of our little bright daisies, and we'll add our black there as well. Okay, our now card, because that was awfully quick. We are now going to adhere this down onto the berry burst. Just center that up there in the cardstock, and just like that, we have a card that we made within minutes. Now we're going to create a wow card. So we're going to take this same idea, only we're going to step it up a notch. For the wow card, we're actually going to create with a berry burst card base. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. And then I have 2 pieces of basic white 4 inches by 5 1/4. So you remember how we stamped here all over the cover? Well, this time we're going to take one of our 4 by 5 1/4, and we are going to repeat that. We are just going to stamp just like we did before. So I'll tell you what, if you'll give me just a few seconds here, I'm going to get this all stamped up for you. All right, so that's all ready to go. Now we're actually going to do a little bit of trimming on this one, okay? So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in, and the first thing I actually need you to do is to cut this down to 5 1/8. So you're going to pick whichever end. I can see I'm a little more blank right here, so I'm going to cut 5 1/8. It's just a little hair. Now we're ready to do our diagonal cut, but this time our tick mark's a little bit different. So for this one, we're going to make a tick mark. Now I take that back. The tick mark is the same. It's going to be at 2 1/8. So that is going to be from the top. So I'm going to put the top here, 2 1/8. And again, remember, you can use a pen, you can use your scoring blade, whatever you want to do, but we'll just make a little mark right there. And just like we did before, we're going to go from the point of our cardstock to that tick mark. Remember, we want to cut the tick mark off, so we want it just to the right there of the track. We're going to trim that off, and now we have our diagonal piece. Now we're ready to cut onto our berry burst. This is the one that needs a little bit different tick mark. So what we're going to do here, instead of 2 1/8, we're going to go 2 1/4. All right, I'm going to make my tick mark. Again, we're going to go from that score line and line that up in the track, line that tick mark just to the right side of our cutting track, and slice. And now we have our diagonal cut for our card base. We are going to take some black and white gingham ribbon. I'm just going to give this just a quick snip. And what I want to do is I'm going to just adhere this onto the back of my card. And if you want to know the quick and easy way, because we're going to be adding this with Stampin' Dimensionals, we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to hold that in place. All right, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to take some more ribbon, And you notice I'm just leaving it on the spool. It's just a little bit easier for me. I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to tie a little bow here on the left-hand side. Now we can trim it off. You see we have less waste that way. Okay, we are now ready to add this to the front of our card. But like I said, we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. This is just going to kind of give it a little bit more of that wow factor. And we want to get, not super heavy. I think I'm going to do 3 there. Let me get one here, maybe one more here on this side and one in the middle so we don't sag. And now that we have that done, we're ready to add our inside piece and we're going to do a little more stamping. I am going to go ahead and add this now. And that was at 4 by 5 1/4. And friends, I'm going to stamp this the exact same way I did before. So I'll stamp my happy birthday in the black, friend in berry burst, and of course let's bring in that crushed curry. We'll add a few of our little flowers, and you know what, we're going to add a flower down here at the bottom. Probably should have done that before I adhered it down, but it's all good because now we can add just a little bit more of the berry burst. And of course, let's not forget, we want to add the center to those flowers. And now we have a wow card, right? Because it's just a little bit different fold, makes it a little bit more than just your standard card. All right, now we're gonna really step it up and we are gonna go for a holy cow card. My Berry Burst card base is the same. It's that 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. My basic white pieces are a little bit different this time. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4, and I have a 3.5 by 4 5/8, and that's going to create the little pocket. Now the other piece we need with this is a piece of basic black, and this is a 3 3/4 by 4 7/8. Now we're going to do our trimming on our Berry Burst cardstock, and then we're going to do a little something with the little scrap that we had left over. So this is going to cut the exact same way. We are going to make our tick mark at 2 1/4. We're going to cut it in the exact same way, but this time we're going to take this and I want to cut off a little 2 inch by 1 inch. All right. I'm sorry, make that 1/2 inch. Forgive me, that is 1/2 inch. So it's 1/2 inch by 2, and then we're just going to give it a little score at 1. You could even just fold it over, but hey, I've got my scoring blade there. That is going to create our little tab. So what a great way to use our little leftover scrap, right? We're going to create this front piece the exact same way. So everything you just saw me do, we're going to repeat that again. And we're going to add the ribbon and the Stampin' Dimensionals. So it's going to look much like this card, only this one's not going to open and close. We're not going to have this here on the inside. Now this one's going to look like this. So again, you see all those pieces are the same. So to create the pocket for this card, we're going to bring in some tear and tape. And I'm going to add this tear and tape right here down the side. And you know, I know it's called tear and tape. I guess I'm just a little crazy. I like to cut it. Now on this bottom part, we don't have to go all the way across, just enough so that the pocket insert doesn't fall out. So that's really all we need there, but we do want to make sure this side is totally closed. Let's peel off those backings. And we can now seal up our card. But there's our pocket. Now let's do what we need to do on that pocket. We're now ready to take that little tab that we created, and that's going to go right here on our basic black cardstock. Now we don't want that to stick up too high. So if you want to slide it down into your card to kind of get it set, you can do that. But really just a little bit of adhesive on each end. That's just going to give us a little fun pull tab. All right, now I can add that basic white, and guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna stamp the exact same way. Yep, it's all about your creativity. How much time do you have? I just really like to keep things super simple for you guys. I'm gonna slide this down into my pocket. Once I have that set, of course I can stamp And now you've got that great pocket. You can see here, I decided to do some stamping here at the bottom. And do you see something a little bit different? I didn't even catch this when I was creating the card, but there is a second overlay that you can add to your flowers that's in that Darling Details. And I decided to add that here. So whether you like the more solid look or you like that addition, you get creative with that. But there we go, a simple little pocket. So now we've created a holy cow card. And there we go. Now, wow, holy cow.
Don't forget to grab your free download that goes along with today's video. Remember, I'll have all those measurements, so there's no need to write any of them down. Look in the YouTube description for a direct link, or you can just go to simplysimplestamping.com and you'll find today's post, and you can see a blue button that says download your free tutorial here. I hope that you'll grab that. It's going to make creating the cards so easy. All right, now that you've seen the first set of cards, I'm ready to share with you a second set of cards, and these are created with designer series paper instead of creating kind of our faux designer series paper.
Aren't these so sweet? I used the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. The stamp set I used was Very Best Occasions. This was great because I could make an any occasion card. Endlessly grateful, with comfort and love, and a happy birthday. Guys, my cards are all the same. You can see there's that Designer Series paper instead of stamping. Oh, but do you notice this right here? On these two cards, I decided to use the scrap that I cut off. You know how we would cut off that designer series paper the same way we did our stamped paper? I used that, and then I was able to punch some flowers using the Petal Park Builder Punch. Yeah, so, I thought, let's not waste those little scraps. And so I was able to create a couple little flowers here. Oh, you notice this one, we added some sequins. The Neutrals adhesive back sequins. I thought those kind of silver gray ones look so pretty with this Misty Moonlight. Yep, this is a Misty Moonlight cardstock. This one here with the pocket, I used a Night of Navy. Oh, wants to get stuck there. Night of Navy as the base. Just a fantastic way to create some Now Wow or Holy Card Cow. Holy Card Cow. Let me try that again. Now Wow and Holy Cow cards. Mouth and brain not working today. But just a really unique way to create. These, of course, went much faster because I let designer series paper kind of be the star of the show there. So if you want to stamp, you can always stamp your cards, but that designer series paper sure creates a really nice, quick, and easy card.
Thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't subscribed, why not click the subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. While you're at it, share with some crafty friends. The more the merrier around here. Thank you again for being here. I can't wait to stamp with you next time. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.